You ready? I'm wondering, are you ready? We're going to read about Jesus and what he says. And I mean, again, every time I read it, and I've read it a fair number of times, and each time I'm challenged. And again today, I guess. Not sure challenged is the word, but I'm going to read it, and let's go ahead and see what God has to say to us. It's fallen to me to be sharing with you what he's saying, and I pray that I can stay true to his word. Amen. Matthew chapter 13, starting in verse 10. And the disciples came to him and said to him, "Why do you speak to them in parables?" Jesus answered them, to you it has been granted to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. But to them it has not been granted. For whoever has, to him more shall be given, and he will have an abundance. But whoever does not have, even what he has shall be taken away from him. Therefore I speak to them in parables, because while seeing they do not see, and while hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. In their case, the prophecy of Isaiah is being fulfilled, which says, "You will keep on hearing, but will not understand. You will keep on seeing, but will not perceive. For the heart of this people has become dull. With their ears they scarcely hear, and they have closed their eyes. Otherwise they would see with their eyes, hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and return, and I would heal them. But blessed are your eyes, because they see, and your ears, because they hear. For truly I say to you that many prophets and righteous men desired to see what you see, and did not see it, and to hear what you hear, and did not hear it." So the verses where we read where Jesus says, having ears to hear, they hear, or he who has ears, let him hear. And I'm always asking the Lord, do I have ears? And what does that mean? Yep, I do. Isn't what it means. It's, do I have ears? Do I have the ability to treat honestly what you say to me? And that is exactly all it means. Do I have the eyes to see honestly what you want to show me? We're in an epidemic that has repeated itself from the day Jesus appeared on the scene. The minute he showed up, even Herod, the king of his country, the one the promise was given to, the country, the people the promise was given to, he heard that this Messiah may have been born and went out and killed many babies, believe it or not, to try to stop the promise from happening, because having eyes he did not see, and having ears he did not hear. He was chosen. He was called. He was placed perfectly in a position to receive everything God wanted for the people of Israel, but he instead sent out the army to try to kill the Messiah, and instead just killed a bunch of babies. And there was weeping in Ramah. Great sorrow. I tend to minister to people who have seen great sorrow, who have been in miserable places. And there was weeping in Oroville. And there was weeping in California. Because having eyes to see, we did not see. And hearing, we did not understand. And what's he talking about? Why do you speak in parables? So they won't get it. Just really want to make sure that I'm not one of they. And now, how do I guarantee that? How do I guarantee I'm not one of they? The proverbial they he's talking about. Hearing, they don't understand. Well, one of the ways is just go ahead and daydream throughout every time the truth is being told to you. And then you'll never understand, and you'll never have to worry about understanding. You're never even in danger of understanding. No one will ever hold you responsible, right? At least until the day you stand before him. Herod, the guy that I already mentioned, the king of Israel, the king under the governorship of Rome, he knew that this Messiah may take attention away from him. He knew this Messiah was called a king of kings. Well, kings don't like to have kings. And this king of kings is coming, and we're not going to have that. Let's go try to kill him. So his motive was a little different. But what about the Pharisees and the scribes? What was their motive? Why did they come against this? Well, they'd been set up because about every other week someone came along saying the Messiah is here, the Messiah is there, he's here. Could this be the Messiah? Could that be the Messiah? They were set up. And it had been a long time since God had spoken to anybody. A long time, many generations even. Our country, America's 200 and a few years old. It had been 500 years since they had heard from God's voice. So they had developed a power system that this guy would endanger. And so their ears began to hear based on the power they had, based on they're in a tight spot with this Roman occupation. The Roman army is here. And what power and comfort a man can have, I have, and don't you do anything to endanger it. So when God himself shows up as a baby, grows into a man and demonstrates who he is, you can see that there's a desire not to see the truth, because it's going to cost me an awful lot to know the truth. I can tell you that people don't want to come to church because they don't want to hear the truth. The Jewish leaders don't want to come to the Messiah because they don't want to hear the truth. Because if they hear the truth, then of course you become responsible for your own demise, or you become responsible for the choices you make. We celebrate people here all the time for the choices they make. And the lie of the world is, the lie of the church, the people who claim to see but don't see, that claim to hear but don't hear, and hearing they don't understand, are the ones that tell you your choices have nothing to do with it. The ones who's telling you that your choices have everything to do with it would be named Jesus, would be named Matthew, would be named Luke, would be named Paul, Peter, John, those guys. Telling you that the only thing that matters is how you respond to the truth. Because everybody gets to know the truth. Everybody gets to have the truth in their land. Everybody gets to know. And there's even a place that says if the gospel is never presented, you were born with a knowledge of good and evil. And if whatever good you decided is good becomes your law and you obey it, you'll be justified. But if you disobey it, you'll be judged. So even those who don't get the truth have a truth, they think is the truth, and if they live it, they'll be justified. What he's talking about here is people who have a truth, and they happen to be the leaders of the truth, the holders of the covenant, the guardians of the Holy of Holies, the managers and ministers to the Ark of the Covenant, the dwelling place of God, who actually have every reason on earth to welcome the Messiah, to listen to the truth, and then share it with the people, actually refuse to hear it. And hearing it, they won't understand it or listen to it. And he says, why do you speak to them in parables? Now, maybe there's someone in the crowd who doesn't know what the word parable means. It's when he tells a story about a farmer to make sure you understand God. The kingdom of heaven is like a buried treasure that a man sought for all of his life. And when he found it, he said, I'm going to go sell everything I own to be able to buy that land where that treasure is buried. Give up everything for it. He said, the kingdom of heaven is like that. They didn't get it. I'm a little scared that we're not getting it in this world today. We're afraid to tell anyone the truth. We need no man to tell us the truth. The Holy Spirit will tell us. Don't tell us. Well, didn't you know the Holy Spirit did tell you? He just sounded like me. Didn't you know the Holy Spirit did tell you? He sounded like your wife. Didn't you know the Holy Spirit did tell you? He sounded like your neighbor. He was speaking to you the whole time, but you were looking for some voice in the sky. You didn't understand. He's speaking through man. He's calling. I am Pastor Steve, by the way, to those of you that don't know me. Pastor of the Father's house. And the Father's house exists by the will of God. It actually exists against my will. But my higher will is whatever you want, Lord. And I came home and said, honey, he told me to start a church. And he told me to call it the Father's house. She said, I don't like that name. We need to come up with a better one. I said, I have no choice. Even if it's the worst name on earth, it's what he said. Calling it the Father's house. And so we started the church. I am the pastor. You know why? He said, I want you to start a church and I want you to be the pastor. That's as clear as it can be to me. So I can easily say to you, I am the pastor of the Father's house by the will of God. Right. And I fell on my knees. Lord, I'm not that smart. I'm not educated. What do we do? Well, just tell them what I'm telling you. Tell them what I say. Show them what I do. Oh, Lord. Okay. By the will of God. By the calling of his purpose. How do we know it? The words of Jesus, who says what we do is everything. The kingdom of heaven is like a merchant who called together, gave out talents to this one, and talents to that one, and talents to this one. And he went away, coming back to collect his talents. This one said, here, there's what you gave me, plus a return. Oh, blessed be you, you know. How about you? Oh, here's more. Blessed to you. What about you? I hid it under a rock. Take from him what he has and give it to the others. You knew I was going to require of you. Every story he tells in parables is like that. Unless the Pharisees are thick as a brick, unless Herod doesn't know up from down, they must know he's talking about them. You were given so much. What did you do with it? But you know, he didn't just say the Jewish nation is like this. He said the kingdom of heaven is like this. And then he told you and me that we could be in the kingdom of heaven. Behold, the kingdom of heaven is here. And then he told him something else that's just absolutely mind-boggling. Let me tell you. He said, seek first the kingdom of heaven. Translated, tweaked a little. What it means is, seek first the King of heaven, and everything will be added to you. You dummies will be the ones who inherit the kingdom of God. You simple ones, you'll be the ones that get it. The ones who think they know everything, to quote Avatar, it's hard to fill a cup that is already full. We will see if your insanity can be cured. No, he's saying, unless you decide to have ears to hear what he's saying, what the Spirit is really saying. And what is he saying? What you want to hear? I have found so far that there are a few things he says that I want to hear, but most of them are things like, I want you to start a church and you be the pastor. I want you to move to Oroville. Those are the things he says to me. I want you to give all that you have away. I want you to deny your flesh, deny yourself, pick up your cross and follow me. I was just about to go when he said that cross thing. Did he say cross? Did he say pick up your cross? Well, let's get a second opinion. There's got to be a better way. I know, let's come up with a new philosophy. We make it up on our own so we don't have to give anything up. Why don't we make a new philosophy so that we can do whatever we want? Why don't we make a new philosophy so that it can be, well, you just tell me. You can be attracted to whoever you want. You can have sex with whoever you want. You can steal whatever you want. You can lie about whatever you want. You can drink whatever you want. Let's just make that up. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. That's who he is. Anyone who would come after me must first deny themselves. Oh, man, that's going to leave a red mark. Pick up their cross. Oh, no. Ouch. Follow me. Where are you going? To heaven. Okay. They will persecute you for my sake. They will hate you for my sake. They will despise you. If they despise me, they'll despise you. If they killed me, what will they do to you? Where were we going? Where were we going? Does the road have to go there? And then he goes ahead and tells us where the road is. The straight and narrow road. Few will find it. How do few people miss a straight road? I mean, the curvy ones that have all kinds of left turns and right turns, you know what that road is. That's the road to hell. His road is straight and narrow. The other road is wide with many turns and many choices and many wants and many pleasures. Sin has its pleasure for a season, but then comes judgment. You, why did you have to say that? Come to me, all who are heavy laden. Well, that's about all of us. Is your boat that big? You'll find rest for your soul. Oh my, I want rest for my soul. I want rest for my soul. Where are we going? We're going to the rest for your soul. Where is it? Right there. Right there. Once you find it, just stay on it. Don't turn. He already told you it's straight. So when you come to these turns, I don't know which way. Stop. There are no turns. It's like the airplane guy. There are no turns. Dude. Come back 20 years from now. Guess what? You don't even have to move. It's still the same way. It doesn't turn. It doesn't do that. That's the wrong road. The wrong road. If it was his will yesterday, guess what? His will today and tomorrow. Well, how do we know what is what? We've all had Christianity that doesn't work. I can tell you I have Christianity that does work. It's just how you define work. What does work in Christianity look like to you? I get everything I want. Wish upon a star. I got my little lamp. I can rub it. Now it's good. No. My wish is his command. My want is his problem. My disappointment is his fault. Is that it? No. I deserve nothing. I'm owed nothing. I owe everything. You got no worries. Nothing's going to turn you because you deserve nothing. You're owed nothing. You owe everything. Makes it very uncomplicated. What he has already done for me is enough. Right. Then everything after that, listen to this. Everything after what he's already done is just pudding. It's just pudding. Right. It's dessert. Right? It's just the frills. It's all good. The less I deserve, the more I get. It's crazy. It's part of the promise. We just read that the good soil, if I will be the good soil and do the will of God, I will be his family. I'll be Jesus' brother. You can be his mother. You can be his sister. I'm his brother because I do the will of my Father. And what is the will of my Father? That I glorify the name of Jesus Christ. That I bring glory to his name, not disappointment to his name, not bad reputation to his name, not failed faith to his name, not anger and cruelty to his name, not judgment to his name, but that I bring enduring glory to his name by being good, kind, gentle, merciful, forgiving, loving to his name, sacrificial to his name, willing to pay the price for others. Those are the things that glorify his name. And how do I know these things? In our world, we have this beautiful invention, phenomenal invention called the red letter edition. Tells you everything Jesus said. It identifies, you just flip it open. Jesus is speaking. You flip it open. It's not Jesus. You can read what the Messiah says is the operating procedure of Christian life. Right. And then we got this other thing. These apostles wrote these epistles. You like the apostles' epistles? Yeah. This goes together so well. Huh? Danny Kaye. The vessel with the pestle has a pellet with the poison. Sounds a little like that. Anyway, never mind that. Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's court. Anyway, are you with me? Did I lose you? These incredible things called the epistles of the apostles telling us that we can follow him. And of course, these epistles from the apostles are full of things for you to do. Loving one another, believing in the one that was sent, wrestling with your own self and coming out on top, making the right choices, going the right way. I'm taking a highlighter and I'm highlighting everything they tell us to do. And it's amazing how many things they tell us to do. All good. All cause me to be a representative of the message of Jesus Christ. How do you become one who is after Jesus? One who has ears to hear, who understands? One who takes the parables and applies them to life on earth and understands them? Like the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant seeking after fine pearls. And when he finds one, he gives up everything to possess it. Do you understand what that means? He's looking for you. He's looking for you. And when he finds you, he will die for you. He will speak for you. He will live for you to possess you. But you can't be possessed if you won't be possessed. And so that's a parable for me to look at and say, he wants me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be his. I surrender me to belong to you. The kingdom of heaven is like the treasure you should be seeking. So I should be possessed and I should be seeking. And I should be willing to spend anything I have to possess it. Are you following me? There's a million of them. Kingdom of heaven is like this. The kingdom of heaven is like that. Who's telling you these things? Jesus. Make it your life to learn them. Make it your life to come alongside of them. Make it your life's goal to understand them and then respond. It's interesting how seldom he preached the gospel to Pharisees. It's interesting how in this book, right there in these verses, he said, I speak in parables so they won't get it. And here's the group that he doesn't want to get it. People who've already been given the truth, but refused to surrender to it. Who hold the truth for their own glory and their own possession. He doesn't want them to have it. That's what he just said. I speak in parables so they won't get it. But to you who have not done that, who have not taken the truth and squandered it, have not taken the truth and tried to use it for your own profit, for your own power, for your own place, you get to know the secrets of the kingdom of heaven. Isn't that what he just said? Should I read it again for you? It's what he just said. To you is revealed the secrets of the kingdom so that you might understand and have life. Wouldn't that be good? Ain't that good? Are you with me? I see eyes with 1,000-yard stares out there. Come back to me. The truth is going to set you free. If you are my disciples, you'll know the truth. Do you know the truth? The truth will set you free. Are you free? And he whom the Son sets free is free indeed. Or are you still a slave to your lustly, fleshly desires, to your lust for power, for your pride of life? Are you still a slave to those things? The only way to get free is through the teachings of Jesus Christ. And it's not just the teachings, because they've been there all along. Most of us have known them all along. We've heard them all along. But the only thing missing was our response to them. What have I done? Have I squandered the truth of Jesus Christ? Have I made his sacrifice of no value? Or have I made it the only thing worth living for? The only thing I wake up in the morning for? Most of us are somewhere in between. But we need to be on the way. We need to be moving forward, not backward, not side to side. You hearing me? What is the evidence of a man who has ears to hear? What is the evidence of a woman that has eyes to see? I'll tell you. It is the fruit of the Holy Spirit. Not just those things by themselves, but the fruit of the Holy Spirit, giving glory to the Son of God, to the Lamb who came to take away the sins of the world. It's the glory of the Lamb and the fruit of the Spirit, loving one another as he has loved us. This is the evidence. I promise you, I don't want you here so I can have a big church. I want you here so you can know him, so that you can have this evidence of the Holy Spirit. I have no interest in having a church at all unless that church is helping people change their lives into fruit-bearing, Holy Spirit-carrying, truth-speaking people who respond to the love of God through the words of Jesus Christ and his teachings. This is the goal of every man alive, every woman who lives, to seek Jesus and give him glory. Let your life at the end be for nothing but the glory of God. I tell you, if you've hit it in the weeds and you're kind of stuck out there in a sand trap, seek him. You'll find him. Seek first the kingdom of heaven. Seek first the King of heaven. And all these things will be added to you. Is not money and position. It is not power. Those are the things that keep us from knowing him. The things that he will add to you are the fruit of the Holy Spirit. Power from on high. He will speak through you. He will speak to you. And your ears will hear it, but your heart will understand it. Your eyes will see it, but your soul will know what's true. And you will follow him. And you will not get lost. The road will remain straight. And you will remain on it. And nothing will shake you. Nothing will take you. You say, I don't like what's happening in this road, but we'll get through it because we're with him. Trust me, I know a bit about that. There are many sorrows. There's much grief on this road, but there's a lot of joy, and there's great peace, and there's great love on this road.